Hey everyone, Clips here, back with another Arc Dev Kit tutorial. In the last video we touched upon how to set up the basics that you need to get your mod going, to make it cook properly and everything, and to make it stackable. We set up these three files right here: the primal game data, the tested game mode, and the level file. Let's see, today we are going to actually make a buildable object, and then we're going to show you how to uh, get it properly set up and put it in game and actually be able to test it here in the editor. Alright, so let's see, first thing we want to do is we want to go to our test mod folder, or our mod folder that we made in the last video, whatever you named it. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to create a new folder, and we're just going to name it table, because we're just going to make a table for today. You can name this whatever, it doesn't matter. So then we are going to go inside the folder. You notice that there's nothing there. Alrighty, so to get this going, what we need to do is get three files. We're going to navigate to the primal earth for this. And basically we're going to look for, since there's already a table in game, we're just going to go ahead and edit that one. Now you can definitely import your own static meshes or models or whatever, like you see here, like I've done with all these different, what Car Wash has done with all these different Valentine's models and everything. Yeah, you can import different things. We'll touch on that on another video, but for now we're just going to edit something that's already in the game and make our own object from it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Primal Earth, then we are going to search for a table. Be a little bit laggy sometimes. I'm going to look for three different files here. We need the static mesh. Usually static mesh files or models, whatever you want to call them, they are the light blue file. So like right here, you notice how there's a light blue strip at the bottom of the file, at the bottom of the picture. That is usually a static mesh. And so we're going to copy that over to our table folder for our test mod. I want to drag, copy here. And now we need the primal file for the table. So let's see here, we're looking for we're looking for the table file here. Here we go, primal item structure furniture wood table. This is the file that's gonna basically, it's a blueprint file, so it's the file that goes in your inventory whenever you spawn the item or you craft it. The little picture that goes in your inventory, and it has and you can put it in one of your quick slots to actually craft the item. This is that file right here, that little picture file. So we're going to drag that into our table folder as well. I'm going to copy there, and we also need the Engram file, which is right here. Engram furniture wood table. As you can see, they're usually all named the same thing, so be on the lookout for that. I'm going to drag that over as well. And now we actually need the structure file. The file that is basically, it edits when the file is, when the structure is placed. So when the table is actually placed in, it's in the game. This file edits everything that it can do, from the placement, from when you see that it's turned green and whether you can place it on the floor or it needs to be placed on ground or whatever, or you can add different objects to it, whatever. This file edits all that. And as you can see here, it's just the wood table blueprint file, and you can tell the difference here basically because at the bottom of it there is a dark blue strip. So we're just going to call that the dark blue strip file. We're going to copy this over to the table folder as well. Alrighty, so now when we look into our table folder and we take off the filter here, as you can see, we have 4 new files here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to name these all to something that's going to match our table. We're just going to make a red table. Let's just do that. So let's call this Give me a second here. I want to rename everything that we just copied over. That's very important. So you want to right click, rename. We're just going to call it, I don't know, we'll make it, we'll just call it new table because I'm not sure what we're going to actually make it yet. We'll call it new table. Let it save, do everything there. Alright, and we're just going to go down the line. You notice how that one's saved because the star is gone. Now we're just going to go down the line, and we're going to rename all the files. So, give me a second here. You notice I'm just changing the last part where it says wood table to whatever we're going to name it and keeping everything else the same. It's very important to do that. Sometimes the file will not read right if you change the, the first part of the name. So, just to be safe, I don't change any of that. I'm going to name it new table. And usually for the static mesh, it doesn't matter. You really don't have to change the name, but I do anyway just to keep things organized. Just so you know everything that is for that file. Alright, got everything renamed here. Now the first file we want to mess with is the static mesh file. Usually if you've imported something from a website or something that you've made, it's going to have materials already, so you may not have to mess with this file. And sometimes you will, because sometimes you'll import something and it just won't import correctly, so you have to add the materials yourself. We're going to double click this file. I'm just going to open up a new window here. Give me a second. Now this file is pretty important. This is basically the static mesh, this is the static mesh file for that object. So you could open up many different files and edit all these different properties here, but this is basically where you add materials, and then you can also change the collision on things. So like basically what collision is, it's what it sounds like, how it's going to collide with other things. So you see how this box is right here. When you try and go under the table, you're going to collide with this box, so you won't actually be able to go under the table. The little purple box right here. So yeah, we can actually change the collision up to react differently. We'll get into that a little bit later. For now, we're just going to mess with the materials, which is right here. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Alright, so right here is the materials that we have here. Right now it's just set to the default wood table material. We can go through here and change pretty much anything. Change it to pretty much anything. There's tons of materials in the dev kit already and in the game. We'll just go through it. We'll just choose something cool here. Just to give you guys a taste of what it looks like. I'm pretty sure these are going to look trippy. And when it turns gray like that, it's just compiling the shaders. Don't trip out or anything. It's just loading the material. And yeah, that's this has some transparency to it, so obviously it just turns the table all weird looking. We obviously don't want to use that. So we'll go ahead and let's see. A lot of these materials in here are very they're made for certain things, so they're not gonna look great on here, but you can also make your own materials, which we'll get into in another video as well, because that's a task in its own. But we're gonna find something here that fits it. Let's see. White tile. That looks weird. Alright, we'll look for one more. Let's see what else we have. And sometimes when you have an object in here, depending on the object that you have and how many materials are assigned to it, you'll have multiple boxes here to change multiple materials for different objects of the mesh. So for now, we're just going to make it. Let's just make it a metal table, I guess. So I already have a silver-ish material in here, so I'm just going to use that. It's a simple material that I made, so alright, we're just going to use that one. And now you can see it's like a crazy looking metallic futuristic metal table looking thing. And now just because we're in here, I'm going to show you how to mess with the collision, because this is just the default collision that comes with it. You can move it around and stuff like that, but keep in mind, if you move it way out here, somebody's going to walk into this side over here and it's going to be way away from the table, so it's going to be odd. So what we're going to do is, just to mess with it here, give you an idea of how it works, we're going to remove all collision. Then we are going to, if you add box collision, simplified box collision, it's just going to put that same box right there. That's all. It's just going to read the mesh and think, hey, this is where this box needs to fit. So we can remove collision again. Yes. And then we are going to, excuse me, we are going to add capsule. And now you can see it looks like that. Remove the collision once more. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use a collision that actually fits snug to the mesh itself. So we're going to add auto convex collision. It's going to open up a box over here, and this is going to basically ask you how many different shapes do you want the collision to search for and put in the collision itself that it's going to build. So the more of these numbers that you put in here, the more accurate the collision will be, but also the more performance enhancing, that sounds stupid, the more performance it's going to take to actually, render that object. So if we put the collision way up here to the max it can be on both of them, and then we hit apply, obviously it doesn't do anything because, I don't know, the dev kit just doesn't read it that way. But if we change the material, say to silver or something else, right, and then we change it back to the silver that we had, we just change the material and then change it back, you can obviously see the collision come in, and look how accurate it is now. We'll just get that one, the one I had. Okay, and now you can see how accurate that collision actually is. It's very accurate, but keep in mind, you put this item in the game like this, it's going to be very laggy when you walk around it, because of how many different boxes of collision it has to detect. So usually what we want to do is we want to take this down to about, I say halfway for the top one, and then a little bit less than halfway for the second one. And this is just for a table. Think if you had something really huge here that has a lot of different shapes in it, this could vary, so you want to just mess around with it, honestly. But usually I put it around 11 and 15, hit apply. Actually, I think if we highlight it, no, that don't work. Okay, so we'll just change the material again and then go back to it. And now you can see it's not as accurate, but it's accurate enough, so we'll just go ahead and go with that for now. And yeah, so we're just going to make a metal table here, and then we're just going to save it. Alrighty, now we can close that. Just going to say yes. Alright, I don't know why I didn't want to save it anyway. Do that, close it. Okay. Alright, now the next file we want to mess with is the dark blue strip file, the blueprint file. The file that's going to basically handle everything from placement to just the object properties itself. So we open up this file here, and you notice that it's still trying to read the wood table from the primal earth that's already in game. And I just want to show you guys something here too. If you click this little magnifying glass on any file, even up here, it'll take you right to whatever it is. So like right here, it's showing that the wood table from the primal earth is what's selected here. If we press this, it'll take us straight to it over here in the content browser. So you can see we're in primal earth structures, furniture, and it takes you straight to it. So And now if we want to go back to this file that we're actually editing, you just click this right up here. Takes us right to it. Alright, so now what we want to do is, since it's the same table but it's just a different color, we don't have to mess with the scale or anything like that. But basically, if you did want to mess with the scale, you can make it bigger, smaller, wider, whatever. And that's my nephew in the background. He's playing his tablet. I'm babysitting him right now, so don't mind him. He's only 4, so you may hear him throughout this video. But anyway, back to the video. We're going to just take this static mesh here, since this is the one we've edited and copied over to our file. We're going to take this and we're going to drag it over and replace this with that. Now you can see that it's changed to ours. Alrighty. Now there's about 3 different things in here you really want to mess with, that you have to do in order to make the item place. So first thing you want to do is change the consumes primal item here. This is the item that it's gonna take out of your inventory, the blueprint, the little picture file that we talked about, that's going to be in your inventory for you to actually place the item. This file right here, the primal item structure, this is the file that it's going to take away once you place it. Otherwise, if you don't have anything here, when you place it, the file is just going to stay in your inventory and you can just keep placing it. So we don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do here, we're going to click and let that load up for a minute. Give me a second. Alrighty, and we're just going to type in new table, since that's what we named ours. Alrighty, that's why I said it's always good to keep the same name, so you don't have to worry about, hey, what did I name this, or I forgot what I named this. You want to keep everything the same name for what the object you're making, so you can just remember new table and bam, whatever you're looking for, it's going to pop up. Alrighty, so you want to change that. That's your first thing you want to change. Now, as I'm scrolling down here, you can see there's tons of different things you can, add here. You can add snap points for it. If you want the tables to snap to each other, I wouldn't recommend it for a table, but hey, everybody can do whatever they want to do. Different things in here, tons of different things that you can choose from. Let's see. As you can see, it's placed as the floor right now, so you can place things on it. If you were to remove that option, I don't believe that you'll be able to place anything on it, so it would be a pointless table. But yeah, tons of things in here for you to mess around with. We're not going to mess around with too much of anything in here right now. We're looking for right here. If you've downloaded a lot of our mods, you've noticed that you can pick up pretty much anything that you place down from our mods. I just think it's better that way. I think if you place something down, you should be able to pick it up. Again, that's my nephew in the background snickering. He's watching something. I don't know. But anyway, if you want something to be picked up, if you say we place this table down and then we want to be able to pick it up after we don't place it right or whatever, all you have to do is come here to the pickup gives item and put your primal item structure file in here. We're going to look for a new table. Now, when you highlight the structure that's put down, the table, and you pick it up, it's going to give you that blueprint back in your inventory again, so you can place it again. Alrighty, now that we got that done, we're going to come down here towards the bottom to the targetable section. And first off, we're going to change this right here, the herd effects. We're going to change that to impact metal, since it is a metal table. I think it's, yeah, there we go. Alright, and then the break cue. This is basically what the sound's going to be when it breaks, and we want it to be a metal sound since it's not wood. Metal destroy. There we go. And those are just different sounds that are already in game. You can definitely make your own sounds in another program and import them in and change it all to whatever you want. It's fully customizable. So we're going to change this to metal table, and usually you can go and create you can go and create a destructible mesh, basically. So like, when you destroy something, you know, it turns into different pieces and explodes, or just falls to the ground. That's what that is, a destructible mesh, and it has a little pink strip down there at the bottom. But for now, since we didn't create one, we'll do that in a different video. I'm going to go ahead and just click clear on here, so when you delete it, it just disappears. And you can also change the weight here. I mean, not the weight, but the health of how strong it is. So since it's a metal table, and the wood table has 1,000 apparently, 1,000 health, we're going to change this to 2,000 health, or 2,500 health. Alrighty. Oh yeah, and something else I also skipped over. You want to come up here. You want to change the targetable damage effects. So we don't want it to be wood, we want it to be metal, since that's metal. And then there's also the structure settings right here. As you can see, it can be broken by stone because it's wood. We want to make this, since it's a metal object, most metal objects can be destroyed by weak explosives. So that's what we are going to set right now. And yeah, I mean, you can go through each one of those settings by, you know, just selecting one right here, then clicking the magnifying glass, then opening up that structure blueprint and see what's in there. And you can choose which one, whatever one fits your product better. Or you can even copy this file over to your mod and change the settings there, and then rename it and put yours here. I mean, that's all up to you. But for now, we're just going to use weak metal. I mean, weak explosion. Sorry. Weak metal and broken by explosives. Alright, cool. Alrighty, so we've done all that. Seems like it's a lot. It definitely isn't. That's pretty much everything in this file you want to change, that you need to change. That's pretty much it. I mean, you can definitely go around and edit whatever you want in here to make it fit your item. But you don't have to actually do that. And this components tab, we'll get into this at another time, but just to show you guys what this tab actually does, this is very important. This is the tab that actually lets you change how the item's going to be placed, you know, like when it's green, and how far it's going to be away from you, and you know, how it's going to sit on the floor, stuff like that. And you can actually even add different decorations to the table right here. Like, say if we wanted this table to have, I don't know, just a random person standing on it that you can't interact with or anything like that, we can actually, let's just say, I don't know, we'll just name it something just to show you guys here. I'm not actually going to keep it, but I added a static mesh and then named it something, whatever. And then let's just choose, I don't know, Alpha Rex. It's probably going to be huge. Give it a second to load. That tells me that it's going to be huge. Probably I shouldn't have chose that, but whatever. This is possibly a bad idea. The dev kit is having issues processing it. Can't say I'm not surprised. There we go. Alright, so now you see that the Alpha Rex skeletal mesh is there. Still loading the materials, but if we wanted to, we can make them stand on top of it, and then change the scale of them to like 0.2, right? And we change it for all of them. Oops, so put 1.0, put 0.2, and now he's just a little small Rex standing on the table. That's what we're going to keep it like, because that's actually pretty cool. Excuse me. Alright, and then we can just move him up and down, move him wherever we want to move him, pretty much. We'll have his little tail feet sticking through. Sorry about that. Alright, so now that we've added our little Rex to the table, we're going to actually drag this up to our static mesh right here. So it's actually attached to it. So wherever you place this at, that's where that's going to go. It's not going to just float in midair. Alright, now we just save that file. We'll get into that more in another episode, but for now, that's all we're going to do with it. Just messing around. Alrighty. And now we are going to open up our primal item structure furniture file that we made. Alrighty. Now everything in here, this is basically, like I said, the blueprint that goes into your inventory. So when you craft it from the Engram, the little picture that it gives you in your inventory, this is that file. And you edit everything in here from that. You can change the different sounds when you equipped it to your whatever. Pretty much every file that everything that is in game, whether it's armor, weapons, structure, or whatever, it has this file. So it's all pretty much the same. Alrighty, so the main things that we need to edit in here, I'll show you right now. We're going to go and we're going to find the descriptive name base. We're going to change that to whatever we want our structure to be named. We're going to name it metal table. And then you can also put the description right here. We're going to change it to a simple metal table with a cool Rex on top. And that's it for that. Remember, like I said in the last video, after you type something, you want to click away from it before you scroll past it, because if you don't and then you scroll back up to it, it's going to go back to what it was defaultly. That's just how the dev kit works. Alrighty, now you come down here and you have the base crafting resources. This is what it takes to craft this item. So like in your I believe you learn the Engram, and then it goes in your Engrams, and then this right here is what you're going to need to set for you to craft it before you can actually build it. I think everybody knows what that means if you played the game. So we're going to change this from 100 wood to let's just say 50 I don't know, hides for the Rex that's on top. Just, I don't know, we'll use hides for now, just an example. And then for metal, since it is a metal table, we're going to change that from 12 to 75. That's probably not a good number, but whatever, we're just testing right now. Alrighty, and now you have, like I said, there's different things in here you can change. You can change the XP you get from crafting it. You can change how long it takes to repair, how much the blueprint actually weighs in your inventory. You can change the spoiling time right here. So if you put a number right here besides 0, that's how long it's going to take before it spoils, and then you can change the item that it spoils into right here. A lot of cool stuff in here. And this is the actual icon that shows up in your inventory when you have it. So you can actually change this as well. Usually you go into another third-party program like Photoshop or something, make an icon, import it in, then change it to this. That's all. Let's see here. I believe that is everything you need to change here. Actually, no, there's not. You have the structure to build. That'd probably be a good idea to change that, because we don't want it to build a wood table. So we want to click this, and we're going to name it new table, and it's going to bring up our file, this dark blue file right here. That's what it's pointing to. Alrighty, want to bring that up, and yeah, so we set it to new table. This right here, it shows how much it can stack, how much it can, max stack and everything like that. Right now, I think it can stack 100 tables. I believe that's what that means. I'd have to go through and check it. Yeah, obviously that's what it means. It can stack 100 of these. The item quantity, you can change this to 2. So then when you do craft one of them, it'll give you 2 of them. I did that with my compy snacks that I made for the kibble vending machine. I made it where it's buy one get one free, so you get 2 snacks for the price of 1. All right. And yeah, like this, like I said, this file is very important. You can change pretty much everything in here. If it's an egg, you change everything in here for the incubation time and all that type of stuff. So it's definitely a good file to go through and mess with and get more acquainted with, just test things out. But after you change those key things, that's pretty much the only things you need to change to make it work if you're building a structure. So we can save that file. And just for the record, these files that have blueprint on it like that, the blue file says blueprint, they don't have a component tab, so don't even try it to go there and just mess with it because it doesn't have one. Okay, we saved it. Alrighty, now those 2 files are done. 3 files are done, sorry. Now we're going to go ahead and make an Engram for it. Okay, so for right now, just for testing purposes, we're going to make the required level 0 for your character, and Engram points just 0. You can change those two to whatever. It's kind of self-explanatory what they do. Alright, so they give blueprint to player inventory. So when you basically you craft something, say like a campfire, you learn the engram, it puts that campfire engram in your engram, so then you can craft it right from your body. If you don't want that to happen and you want this engram to go into a certain object like a smithy or something, which we'll get into in another video, you uncheck this box. But if you want it to go in your inventory, keep it checked. And now we're going to change it to the item that it's going to give you, which is our new table. Alrighty, and if you gave the description to the primal structure file here, like we did, you don't want to give it a description here because it'll just double the description when you look at it in your engrams. And right here, this is basically if you wanted to require anything to learn the engram. So right now it says you need to learn the wood chair to learn the engram, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to press the trash can and it deletes everything in that category. So you don't need any requirements. Alrighty. So now that we've edited all these files, we're done with the table completely. We're going to go to our test mod folder here. And then we're going to go back to the primal game data. Open that up. This does take a couple seconds to open up sometimes. Alrighty. So now there's a few things in here we do need to change for when we make a new file. I mean a new object such as our table. First thing is we want to go to our additional engram blueprint classes. You never want to change the engrams here. These are all the engrams in the, you see where it says engram blueprint classes. These are all the engrams that are in game already. You don't want to touch those because if the devs change anything, then your mod will conflict with other mods that haven't changed them at all. So you want to just add an engram onto the list without actually touching the main list. So they made an additional engram blueprint classes here. You just click the plus sign, you'll add one, and now we're going to look for our new table once it pops up. New table. Alrighty. And now we have our engram in there. So that's going to pop up from when we open up our engrams. It's going to be at the very bottom. Alright, and now there's another thing in here that we do want to change, and that's the structure. What is it? The additional structures to build. I'll show you that in a second. I'll just search for it. That's what I usually do. Type in structure. Alrighty. Right. Additional structures to place. Sorry, that's what we're looking for. This is very important. If you do not put your object in this list, when you go to place it, nothing will happen. It just act like it doesn't exist. So you need to put your item in this list. So just click the plus sign, type in new table because that's what we named it, and it's searching for this dark blue strip file right here. That's what it's searching for. So whatever you name that, that's what you want to search for. And when we add it to that list, then it's good to go. And now that's all you need to do in this file. But for now, since we are going to test it in the editor, we do want to add it to the master item list. And I know I said never touch that in the last video. I know I said I never touched that in the last video, which is true. You never want to touch it, but for testing purposes, we're gonna just add a line here, put the plus sign, and scroll all the way down to find it. It should be at the very bottom. Alright, there we go. Alrighty, so yeah, we never want to touch this unless we're just testing. So then when I get in the editor here, I can just, you know, simply spawn 452 and it'll give me the item. And then when we're done, we're going to completely delete it from there, that new entry from the master item list, so it doesn't corrupt anything else when we go to cook the mod. So just for testing purposes, we're just going to add it here. New table. We're going to save it. And we're going to close this box. Alrighty. Now, before we go in here and we actually go in here and the editor and press play and everything to go test it out, very important here, we need to bring up our world settings, like I showed you in the last video. If nobody remembers or you didn't watch it, I'll show you how to do it here. What we're going to do is we're going to go to settings and we're going to go to world settings. I'm going to bring it up over here. This is very important. So we're going to go down and we're going to search for primal game data override right here. And we're going to change it to our primal game data that we made. So I believe it was called test mod. Yeah. And it's searching for this file right here. Primal game data BP underscore test mod. Whatever you named yours, that's what you want to put here. And basically what that does is that tells this editor world here to read this mod. And everything that we've done for this mod. If you have it set to something else, then you try and spawn something from this mod, it won't read it. So yeah, make sure you change that, and then we're gonna go in here and we're gonna click play. As you can see, it takes a long time sometimes for it to actually register when you create a brand new mod. And if you've never actually pressed play in the editor before, this is like your first time opening it up, this could take a very long time. It shouldn't take too long for me since I've done it before, but yeah, see here we're in already. But for you guys, it may take a very long time, so do not threat. Just give it some time, walk away, go do something else, come back. And once it does it that first time, it shouldn't take too long after that. I know a lot of people get scared. It's like, it's freezing and it doesn't work. No, bro, it works. It just takes a long time that first time. So let it go through its little things and everything, and you'll be fine. Alright, so I already have a spawn code here. I believe the number was 452, if I remember right. And look, it gave us our metal table up there. Even though we didn't change the icon, we could have did that, but we didn't. And you can get that cheat code that I pulled up here just from pretty much Google. There's different cheat item commands. You can put one of them in here, change the number to whatever, and you'll be good to go. And I did bring this menu up here, the spawn menu, just by pressing tab. That's all. For you people that didn't know that. It's like if you were in, you know, your server for your game, how you bring up your admin commands and everything like that. That's the same way you do it. So, alright, so I spawned it in. I shouldn't have spawned it in, actually. I'm actually going to drop that because we don't want to spawn it in. We want to press I and bring up our inventory, and we're going to go to the Engram, so we're going to view it there. Sorry for the lag. And we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and boom, there's our metal table and our little description we put for it and everything. So we're going to learn it, and then we're going to go to our craftables. It should be in there. Yes, it is. 50 hide, 75 metal, and that works perfectly fine. If we had the stuff here, we could easily craft it, but I don't have the spawn code, so I am just going to spawn it in here. We're just picking it up off the ground. Alrighty, we're just going to take this, drag this down here, and as you can see, we can't actually place it because I didn't set it to be placed on the ground. It has to be placed on a foundation. You can edit that in that dark blue strip file that I showed you guys. And I'll actually do that here in a second, but for now I'm just going to test it out. We're going to spawn a foundation. What is the foundation? Stone foundation is F10. But I know if I press that, it's going to stop recording. So let's not do that. Let's see. That's a wall. Alright. So what we're going to do here, I'm actually going to change it to where it can be placed on, because I don't feel like building a foundation. And I'll actually show you guys how to do that as well. So we're going to go navigate back to our table. We're going to open up the dark blue strip file here. And we're going to go down to the placement section right here. And as you can see, it says, where is it? Requires placement on structure floors. We want to uncheck that. And now it should be able to be placed on ground. We want to save it. Hit play. Shouldn't take long at all. Yep, back in. Spawn it back in. And boom, can place it now. Even though it's still attached. But yeah. So yeah, it came in perfectly fine. That is amazing. It actually looks pretty good. I don't know what we would use that for. I guess maybe like a trophy or something. But yeah, I mean, it looks great to me. And in the next video, I'll be showing you guys how to actually cook and upload it. But for now, I mean, that's perfectly done. It's good to go. We can jump on it. I didn't actually add collision to the Rex or anything like that, so you can walk right through it, but you can do that in the components tab as well. And then you can even pick it up, like we said. Yeah. Obviously, I'll change the thatch placement. And you can also do that in the dark blue strip file as well. Everything's in there, from placement to when it's placed, everything like that. So yeah, that looks good. Quick swim. Yeah, everything is good. I do thank you guys for tuning into this video. Our next video, we're going to be showing you how to cook and upload it, and then we'll go into some different things such as importing and exporting different files and how to make materials and different things like that. And feel free to leave comments on the videos or any forums that you see this video posted on, and let me know what you guys want to see, because after I show the cooking and everything, that's pretty much it for making a structure. I can go through and show you guys how to do a weapon next if you want, and pretty much anything. So drop some comments, you know, some likes and all that, and definitely let us know what you think, because we're going to keep making these videos for everyone, because there's pretty much none out there. Everything else is outdated. So yeah, stay tuned. And I do want to say thank you for everybody that has been downloading the Valentine Extras mod. It has just reached the front page of mods. It's on the top 3 for the week, so thank you for that. We hope that everyone's enjoying that, and yeah, everybody have a good one.